Hi guys, welcome back to interest rates. In the previous video, we talked about the factors that determine the level of interest rates. These are production opportunities, the investment opportunities in productive or cash generating assets, time preference for consumption, the preference of consumers for current consumption as opposed to savings for future consumption. Inflation, the amount by which prices increase over time, and risk, the probability that an investment will provide a lower than expected or negative return. In this video, we will put these factors in equation form. So interest rates, denoted by R, is equal to R star plus IP plus DRP plus LP plus MRP. Let's go to each variable one by one. R star is the real risk-free rate, the interest rate that would exist on a riskless security if no inflation were expected. This is basically the rate the lender demands to receive in a world where there is no increase in the general level of prices and the borrower is guaranteed to deliver her payments as agreed. That is, there is no risk. IP is the inflation premium, a premium equal to the expected inflation that investors add to the real risk-free rate of return. As discussed before, the lender should recover more than the desired interest income as prices are expected to increase in the future. DRP is the default risk premium, a premium added to cover the possibility that the borrower will not pay the scheduled interest or principal payment. The lender should be compensated for this possibility. LP is liquidity premium, a premium added by lenders to reflect the fact that some securities cannot be sold on short notice at a reasonable price. Of course, lender investors would prefer it if they can dispose their loan receivable anytime they wish. That is, they can sell it anytime to whoever they want to transfer it to. Not being able to do so would mean that they would demand more from the borrower, as this will be an additional hassle. MRP is the maturity risk premium, a premium to cover interest rate risk, that is also known as price risk. We will cover this in a separate video. For now, what you need to understand is the longer the remaining maturity of the debt instrument, the more susceptible it is to interest rate risk. Just take it as it is for now. Where do the factors that affect interest rate fit in this equation? Well, R star is determined by the interplay of production opportunities and the time preference for consumption, as this is literally what lenders want to earn and borrowers are willing to pay. Of course, without the impact of inflation and risk yet. Inflation premium is obviously determined by the inflation rate. DRP, LP, and MRP pertain to the risks borne by the lender. There, the picture is now complete. Let us proceed to the following cases to explore more on this topic. Case 1. The real risk-free rate is 3%. Inflation is expected to be 2% this year and 4% during the next 2 years. If the maturity risk premium is 0, what is the yield on the 2-year Treasury securities? What is the yield on 3-year Treasury securities? But what do we mean by Treasury securities? Treasury securities are government-issued securities. Because national governments hardly go bankrupt, it is presumed that they have no default risk premium. As a consequence of this, investors are generally willing to buy Treasury securities from anyone because of this level of safety. Hence, it is easy to dispose such securities. Therefore, they also have no liquidity risk premium. The maturities of Treasury securities, however, vary. In this case, one of them has 2-year maturity and the other has 3 years maturity. Hence, there could be maturity risk premiums. However, this case assumes that there is none. So we will determine the 2-year Treasury security rate. This only covers R star, the real risk-free rate, and IP, the inflation premium. Together, when we add the two, we call this the nominal risk-free rate of return, or simply the risk-free rate of return. So let us arrive at R sub T2. R sub T2 is equal to 3%, the real risk-free rate, plus the average of 2% and 4%, the inflation rates for the next 2 years. R sub T2 is equal to 3% plus 3%. R sub T2, therefore, is equal to 6%. For the 3-year Treasury security rate, this also covers R star and IP as well. R sub T3. R sub T3 is equal to 3% plus the average of 2%, 4%, and 4%, the inflation rates for the next 3 years. R sub T3 is equal to 3% plus 3.33%. R sub T3 is therefore 6.33%. In this case, the Treasury security rates are 6% for those with 2-year maturities and 6.33% for 3-year maturities. Let us explore more in the next case. Case 2. The real risk-free rate is 3% and inflation is expected to be 3% for the next 2 years. A 2-year Treasury security yields 6.2%. What is the maturity risk premium for the 2-year security? Again, Treasury securities have no default risk premiums and no liquidity premiums due to the fact that they are government-backed. This time, it is presumed that the difference between the 1-year and the 2-year Treasury securities is due to the maturity risk premium. The premium is not expected to vary for the next 2 years. So let's arrive at R sub T1, the rate of the 1-year Treasury security. R sub T1 is equal to R star plus IP. R sub T1 is equal to 3% plus 3%. R sub T1 is equal to 6%. We know that the rate for the 2-year Treasury securities is 6.2%. So we are going to expand R sub T2 as the sum of R star plus IP plus MRP. Note that MRP is part of the picture this time. This is because of the fact that 2-year Treasury securities have more maturity risk premium than 1-year Treasury securities. Again, we will discuss this in a separate video. But for now, you have to understand that the longer the maturity, the higher the MRP. 6.2%, that's R sub T2, is equal to 3% plus the average of 3% and 3% plus the MRP. 6.2% is equal to 3% plus 3% plus MRP. We are able to extract MRP as 0.2%. There you go. We were able to explore on the determinants of interest rates, now in equation form. We will do more of this in the next videos. Like this video if you find this helpful. Hit that notification bell to be updated for future videos.